What's up, everyone? My name is Joe Cox, and thank you for tuning in to Joe C. Cox Photo. As always, we do have a new plan for the video. Second, this is an unscripted video. And third, this video will cover my own personal experiences and workflows, so there will be some things included, some things excluded. Today's video, though, we are going to be talking about a buying guide, which is why you see all this equipment here. And I will make the note that this buying guide is going to be for those who are just getting into things and starting to build up their equipment list. I am hoping to release a more advanced video or buying guide in the future, but for now, again, directed audience for this video is those who are starting out. Additionally, I will make the note of I'm going to be looking at all this equipment from number 1 being the most important to number 10 still important, but you can push it off a little bit if need be. Additionally, if you are curious in any of the gear or equipment I use, you can find a link down below in the description of this video. It'll take you to my personal website where I have everything listed out. So to kind of dive on into today's video, first is going to be your camera body. And of course, there is the cliche out there that you can't really go wrong so long as you've got a camera body, and that is true to a degree. So long as you have something that gets you out and shooting photo or video, that is great. But I will say this, if you are newer to the photo and video scene and you're still trying to determine whether or not it's a hobby you enjoy, I would recommend going with something cheaper or less expensive. So in that case, camera body wise, I would be looking for a crop sensor camera. I wouldn't worry about the megapixels that camera has. And also, you could pretty much make the decision for yourself whether or not you want to go with the older technology of DSLR or the newer technology of mirrorless cameras. Inversely, if this is something that you know you like to do and you want to extend it out a few more years, improve your hobby, or even you're thinking about doing it as a career path, that is where I would save up a little bit more money and shell out to a nicer piece of equipment, or specifically a nicer camera body. So in that sense, I would be looking for a full frame camera. I would be looking for the highest megapixels that you can budget for, and I would be looking only at mirrorless cameras. Again, DSLRs are a little bit older at this point, a little bit heavier, and mirrorless, they're just the cutting edge technology in the camera world right now. And I have loved everything. Also being said, I am shooting right now on a crop sensor. This camera is a full frame. So I still shoot both, and I know there will definitely be some people down in the comments being like, I'm a professional and I only shoot crop sensor. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I personally just believe that if you are going to be doing this for a few years, full frame is the way to go. Second big piece of equipment, we are talking lenses. Lenses, of course, are basically how your camera gets to see the world around you. And if you don't have the right lens, your shots can be very limited. So I am going to be going through 4 different lenses, to a degree, technically like 6. But I would definitely try and get all of them, or at least the 4 big ones, so that way you have a nice variety and can shoot for any situation. But first on that list is going to be either a 35mm or a 50mm f-stop 1.8 lens. The second on that list is going to be an 85mm f-stop 1.8 or a 105mm f-stop 2.8. Third on that list is going to be anything with a wide angle zoom lens. Don't worry too much about your f-stop or your aperture. If you go way low in numbers, like a 2.8 with a wide angle, it is going to really start to raise that price. But with a wide angle zoom lens, I'd be looking for anything that starts the zoom at about 16mm or 24mm and goes up to about 50mm max. Fourth lens on that list is going to be about a mid zoom or even a telephoto lens. So find a lens that is zoom and it starts at either 50mm, maybe like 75mm, and goes up to 100mm, if not all the way up to 400mm. If you can get basically one from each of those categories, you are going to be covered to shoot just about anything. Third major piece of equipment on our list today is going to be your computer or laptop. This is very important as well, and I do recommend saving up a pretty penny because There's nothing worse than trying to edit photos and it turns out that your computer or laptop just can't handle the workflow and you're just stuck there waiting on the little loading wheel to load, and you try and make a correction and nothing happens. So definitely do save up and get yourself a nicer piece of equipment there. It does go a long way, and of course it is going to be an investment that you are going to have for numerous years. Fourth on that list, and it is a big one, do pick up backup hard drives for your laptop or computer, and also have an extra memory card for your camera. Storage is a huge, crucial element in all of this that, I mean, you just kind of want to overlook it because you're like, oh, I've got a 250 gigs up to a terabyte on my computer, and I've got a 64 gigabyte memory card for my camera. You want more. All I can say is storage is everything in this game, and definitely invest in nice pieces of equipment there. Now, fifth, and this is going to be a big one as well, editing software. I would not recommend cheaping out and just trying to find free software. There are some good things out there, but for the most part, they're kind of clunky and they don't have a whole lot of powerful features. I personally use, I think it's like the Adobe Creative Cloud or something. That sounds wrong because the cloud, of course, is how you store things. But anyways, Adobe, you can either get like the Photoshop and Lightroom version, which I think goes for like $9.99 a month, or you can get all the Adobe softwares for $30 a month. That is what I do, and I absolutely love it, but editing software is crucial. Hey you, yes you, quick interruption to your video. Did you know that I also make merch for this channel? I've got things like coffee cups for you. I've got you covered with wall art. I've even got you covered with hoodies and other apparel. I mean, just check out all of this good stuff. So not only are your purchases going to supporting this channel and helping others become more educated on photo and video, but a portion of those proceeds also get donated to the Simplify in America's Fund. So not only are you helping out this channel right here, but you're also supporting the men and women who served in our armed forces. That is kick-ass of you. Way to go, you. But check out the link in the description down below. Go find something you absolutely adore, and let's continue to all support each other out here. It's tough out here. It really is. But I love you. You're each beautiful people, and you know that. But otherwise, let's get you back to your video now. Next big one is going to be your lights. So this is another big one, and I do recommend getting into these early on. You can save them for later on down the road, but I genuinely wish that I had got into lighting a lot sooner than I had. So over here, this is a continuous light. If you were going to look continuous light, so it's always shining out and it's not like a flash, I recommend going with at least a 60 watt, if not a 100 watt light. You do just want power. I genuinely regret buying 45 watt lights. They just don't really do a whole lot, and I'm not overly happy with them. Next, this is a flash. Flashes, I do recommend going with at least 200 watts on those. Why? Because if you go out and shoot on a bright sunny day and you have a very low powered flash or strobe, it might not show up at all because the sun is just overpowering it with its light instead of your strobe being able to do anything. Final thing there is you do have to have some sort of light stand with these. So I personally like traditional light stands, the ones that fold out into little tripods. However, there are also these stands called C-stands. And C-stands are nice, but I would only use them for indoor settings. They do lose a lot of their balance, and as someone who has had a light tip over and break on me, I really just prefer light stands over C-stands. Next on the list, we are going to be talking about tripods. Tripods are another one that you can find for a very friendly price, or you can really spend some money on them. Well, a few things going on there. Definitely at least make sure that you are getting an aluminum tripod. If possible, opt for carbon fiber. You do carry them around a lot, and you don't want to be carrying that extra weight. For the most part, though, they are pretty straightforward. Just find something that's pretty nice and has decent reviews. And big other thing there is make sure that it is going to support the full weight of your camera, the memory card and battery, and the lens while it's all included on that tripod. There's nothing worse than getting a tripod that feels a little bit scary to be using. Next, we are going to be talking batteries. Batteries are a crucial component of photo and video, and you drain through batteries very quick. You can take the chance with going for some cheapo Amazon batteries. They are a little bit scary, and I have heard some bad things about them. If you can, go through the direct seller and find the specific battery, of course, for your camera, but do definitely have backup batteries. You need them. Next is going to be a camera bag. So most cameras are going to come with a little camera bag, and that is great, especially if you're kind of doing the tourist thing and you don't need to carry a whole lot. But realistically, I prefer to get a real camera bag that you can actually start to compartmentalize and organize and just carry a lot more equipment with it. So this is a Langley bag. I absolutely love it. I think it's stylish. It looks very nice, but it's also very functional. Now, last on the list today is going to be a gray card. And this one is kind of hit or miss. I didn't get this until way later into my photo stuff. But it has been a great lifesaver, especially for shooting portraits or product stuff. If you want to make sure that your camera's white balance and coloring is spot on, these go a long way. So essentially these... All right, so it did turn out that one of my mics died, so I'm back talking about this and finishing this off. These gray cards are great because it is an 18% gray, which allows your camera to do an auto profile on your white balance. And what that essentially does is it makes your colors for whether it's portrait or product photography as accurate as possible. So it goes a long way with just making sure color profiles are accurate and look and represent what the subject actually looks like in person. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate each and every one of you and your support that you give me. It does mean a lot to me. Don't forget to subscribe. I am releasing a lot of good information right now, and I don't want you to miss out. I'm trying to release all this good information for y'all so you can learn as much as possible. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.